as the world's population continues to grow and land becomes more scarce, there's a need to get creative and become more efficient about how we farm, using less land to produce more crops and increasing the productivity and yield of those farmed acres. That is where artificial intelligence comes in, and believe it or not, AI is being explored here in Ghana on our farms. And here to give us some insight is Darlington Akogo, an AI engineer and founder of Car Agro AI. And if you guys have been following this week, you remember Darlington from the episode at the airport where he got stranded because of the GCAA strike, and you were stranded for 3 hours or so, but you made it to Tamale and to the farm to carry out your project, right? Exactly. And that's when we discovered what he does with AI. Very interesting stuff. So yeah, maybe let's start from what AI is, for those of us who've heard about it but not pretty sure what it is.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for having me. A good way of looking at what AI is that there are a number of things that human beings are good at, right? Just between ourselves, right? And we take these things for granted. So being able to even have this conversation requires a lot of intelligence.
Right.
So all these things, what we are trying to do, basically artificial intelligence is attempting to take these things that we deem as intelligence in humans and nature and give them to machines. So as we'll see in agriculture, there are certain things that experts do, and we just want to transfer them and make sure machines are able to do that.
All right. Yeah. And so, yeah, when we talk about AI, it sounds a bit, what should I say, distant? Yeah, but then we're saying that it helps in the agricultural productivity when it comes to agricultural productivity. So explain to us how AI can do that.
Yeah, so if we take the explanation I used before, automatically you would see that there are a number of things that human beings do on the farm. Therefore, there are a number of things that AI can do. So we can look at a few. One being able to detect diseases and pests. Very important. We lose a lot of our yield, especially on the farm, due to diseases and pests. Fall armyworm has been a huge issue in Ghana and then other parts of Africa. So artificial intelligence is able to, with data, so if you have a lot of data on fall armyworm, it's able to learn what fall armyworm looks like and it's able to detect it. So it can do that for a number of diseases and a number of pests that affect crops. So the way it does it is quite similar to the way we learn. So we learn by example. If I want to teach you what fall armyworm looks like, I just need to show it to you that is fall armyworm, that is fall armyworm. Artificial intelligence does a similar thing. So if you have a lot of, in this case, images of fall armyworm, it's able to learn from that. So it uses a number of statistical approaches, but all it's doing is that it's recognizing a pattern across different images. So if you show it like 100 images or 1,000 images, it's trying to see what is common among all these images. In this case, to be fall armyworm. But fall armyworm can be of different sizes. Maybe the shades might be different a little. So it's trying to learn that beyond the image I'm looking at, how do I truly understand what fall armyworm is? So that if I see it in another setting, I can recognize that it's fall armyworm. But this is still just one. You have yield estimation. So if you have a farm that is 100 acres and you want to know that, okay, during harvest, how much potentially could I get, and then how much could I potentially sell and make money? You wouldn't be able to tell if you have 100 or 1,000 acres maybe. So with AI and then the device right in front of us, a drone, you could fly it across the field, detect all the crops, or in this case, all the fruits or vegetables that you're growing, and be able to tell how much you have. So these are some of the things that we've been doing at Car Agro AI.
Okay, I don't know whether Yao can show us, yes, that image. Explain to us what that is, what is happening.
Okay, so if we can go back, there was a video. So that image that you saw, there's a video that is also connected to it. Exactly. So this is a 3D map.
Okay.
And what happens is that if you fly the drone across the field, it takes multiple images. But then it can't take the whole field at the same time because it needs to go all the way high and you lose a lot of detail. So what happens is that if you take multiple images, you can put it together. And because it's taking image of, if we are standing here and you are taking images at different angles, you can put it together and get a 3D view of a person. In this case, a 3D view of a farm. So this is in Eastern region, we flew the farm on a cocoa field and we're able to generate a 3D map of the whole farm. So you can go in and then zoom in, zoom out, tilt, and move around and see what is truly in the farm.
And this sounds very sophisticated. I guess what fascinated me most was the fact that we're employing this technology here in Ghana.
Oh, yes.
So tell me about the kind of work you've been doing in Ghana.
Yeah, so I mean, we have been working in artificial intelligence for a number of years. We focus for most of the time, we were focused in healthcare, and then we moved to agriculture. So the same technologies that we were building artificial intelligence, we just brought it to agriculture. And so we have the drone, for example. We've been working with farmers, plant breeders in multiple regions. So yeah, all we are doing basically is that if we want to achieve food security, we need to change our approach to agriculture. We can't do business as usual. So one of the challenging things is that there are experts who are good at detecting diseases and doing this, but your average farmer would not be able to afford them, and they wouldn't have access to them. So what we are doing is that we are building these AI tools that have basically inculcated within themselves the knowledge of disease detection, the knowledge of being able to do a number of things that you can see on the screen. And so if we fly the drone, we get the data, and then we process it, stitch it together, generate all this, and then give it back to the farmer. So we, maybe we'll talk about it, but then when I was in Tamale, we actually took it a step further. Right. Which is that it's one thing to detect diseases and pests on the farm, but then we took it a step further. They are trying out different variations or different genotypes of groundnuts. So this is where there are certain features in different groundnuts, and they are breeding them so that they will have a number of features. So what we did was that they had about 1,000 variations of groundnuts, and using our AI system, Caragro AI systems, and then the drones, we're able to test how effective each of these variations were. And the potential of that is the new variations that are created and the data that we've collected to back that these variations are resistant towards diseases. So it's not even about detecting diseases anymore. It's that you have a groundnut that might actually fight its own battle against diseases. So with our systems, they're able to detect that. And then the new variations that they create, it will help farmers in Ghana, in West Africa, in Africa.
Is there data anywhere that speaks to the impact it has made elsewhere, countries that have employed this kind of technology and the kind of results they are getting?
I mean, so drone artificial intelligence is still quite new, but then if you look at somewhere like Switzerland, they've been very heavy at it, and they still have they are still one of the prosperous nations when it comes to agriculture. So yeah, the main thing is that we're actually making it less bulky. So in places like Switzerland, they've been using some sort of technologies like this, but they were very much bigger. But then the potential is, I mean, if we look at right here in Ghana, right, so in Eastern region, what we did right now, the important thing is that we actually work with scientists who are able to verify that data, and they are using that data to map and study diseases. So there'll be a number of reports and studies produced and shared around the world.
And finally, in 30 minutes, if you can, is there any engagement on the government level to, sort of get this adopted? I don't know how far discussions have gone on that tangent.
Yeah, so I mean, we went commercial with this. We spent a long time doing research, and now we've gone commercial working with farmers. Somewhere late last year, I did encounter the Minister of Agriculture, and then we had a conversation about this, and he gave me, I mean, they invited us over to the ministry to have a conversation. Unfortunately, COVID-19 also happened, so we couldn't follow up on that, but yeah. It seems they are very much interested in this, yeah.
Yeah, this is so fascinating. Thanks very much, Darlington, for coming through. We hope to engage more on this fascinating stuff you're doing, and perhaps we'll try and fly the drone as well.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks. That's Business Live tonight.